Welcome back to another Jeff Reviews for you. The video that you're seeing and audio that you're hearing are coming right from the eufy SoloCam S340. Are you noticing that this is following me as I'm moving around? It seems pretty cool. Anyway, enough talking about this product. Let's get right into the review. The eufy Security SoloCam S340. It's the newest solar-powered camera in the eufy line. It looks sweet. I will say this retails for right around $199. It was sent to me for review. eufy is sponsoring this video, but just like any other video that I put out, I'm going to give you the good and the not so good. So let's open this up to see what we get for $199. Unboxed, we see the actual camera system itself, and as you can tell, there are dual cameras and a light on there. Very cool. Our solar panel is 4 5/8 of an inch by 4 5/8 of an inch. It is square. There's a charging cable, I guess, to hook it up when you're initially setting it up. Our solar panel connects directly into the camera, or you can use an extension cord to also hook it in there if you don't have direct sunlight. I've got some mounting hardware both for the solar panel and the camera. I am so excited to test this out. Right here on the back, you're supposed to screw in the mounting hardware so we can mount our solar panel. To install it to either a wall or the camera, you have to take the back part off, and there are some screw holes here. Let me show you how to hook that into the camera. In one of the bags, you see little tiny screws. The screw will actually go through this hole and connect directly on the top of the camera, and that's how you have a direct mount. If you do not want to connect it directly, like you do not have sun exposure, well, you still use these same holes to connect, but you use one of the other screws to connect it further away into the structure. This is how I'm actually going to use it for my install, because the place I'm going to put this is heavily shaded, but I really would like to have a camera light there so I can run the solar panel on the other side of a building and still have the power. That's cool. It should be noted that the extension cord is 10 feet long, so you have to have the solar panel within 10 feet of where you're going to install your camera. I appreciate that the connections are made out of rubber, therefore you're getting your nice watertight connection. One thing I noticed different between this camera and other cameras I've seen with eufy, at least that have the 360 motion, is this one does not have a dome covering the lenses. I find that interesting. Anyway, so there are two cameras here. We saw that earlier, the light and then a motion sensor. On the top here we have, of course, our indicator light. We already saw our connections for the solar panel. On the top right here in the back is how you can put your mounting hardware in and then screw it onto the wall. On the back here you will see our USB-C connection. That's where you put your wire in there from the solar panel. Right next to it you will see our sync button. We're going to need that when we do our official install to the app. Let's do that now. Just plug this in for the very first time. You can see that we have a blue light. What I'm going to do now is we're going to open up our app and start the install. We opened up our app. We're going to hit the plus button. I'm going to scroll down to battery cameras. We scroll in the battery camera section. We're going to go all the way down until we find our dual camera. Oh, right there it is, SoloCam 340. I'm going to keep it on my home base. The next screen, it's actually going to have me scan the QR code that's on the back of the camera. We had just had to set it up to our internet, and I did that. Now I have to push the button on the back, the sync button, for 2 seconds. I heard a beep. Let's hit next. Now the app is actually going to broadcast a QR code that the camera has to read.
Connecting to the Wi-Fi network. Please wait.
So the camera was able to read it, and now we're waiting. The app is still showing us that we're connecting, but the camera said that setup was successful. So I'm going to come back when this app moves on to the next step. Oh, there it was, really fast. Hit next. We are actually going to put this in the side yard. Hit next. Let's go install it. As we went through the directions, it actually tells us to let this charge fully before installing it. It came at about 78% charge, so I'm going to let this charge. We're going to install it when it's at 100%. I've been wanting to install a security camera here, but the problem is, one, there's no power. Two, it's right underneath this tree, so solar wouldn't be able to be used. So I'm excited to have the eufy Cam S340. I'm actually going to install it underneath the eave right here, run the wire down, and have the solar panel on the other side where it has a clear view of the open sky. let's install the camera. If you're trying to run your wire, you can buy little tiny wire clips like this that just adhere to the siding, the molding, the wall, whatever, and you just snap your wire into place. They're pretty quick, easy, and convenient. That being said, however, if you don't want to buy anything new, you just stuff your wire up into your J channel if you have something like this, and you can really tuck it in there and it's just as solid as anything else. And here's where I have it mounted up on the roof. Now it has full view of the sun all day, where on the other side that's in the shade has the camera. You know what? I can't forget to peel off this protective layer. There we go. Now it has full sun exposure. You see right here our connection. I would have rather this been underneath the eave or someplace tucked in the fascia, but it's not. It's exposed out here. Although this is watertight, I am going to get some white electrical tape to wrap this up just to give it that extra level of protection. Of course, here's the final installation of our camera. It was pretty seamless and it looks sweet. It's already set up to the app and you can see that the camera is panning back and forth, following me as I move. It is pretty sweet. You know what though? Let's check out some of the footage from the actual camera. There are a lot of cool features of this app. We've already talked about the panning, but I also love the opportunity to use both cameras. You have your telephoto and your wide view at the same time. So if you need to get a zoom in look, you've got it all right there for you at your fingertips. That, in my opinion, is very convenient. I wanted to give you a side by side of the 3 different night vision options that you have with this camera. So you have your full color night vision, which uses a little tiny spotlight or floodlight on the camera to cast an area, thus lighting it up. You have your black and white night vision, and then you have no night vision at all. So this is just a side by side of the 3 different options. In this video, we were taking a look at the SoloCam S340. So what did I think of it? First things first, let's talk about that price point, $199. You know what? That is an investment, but there's a lot of technology packed into this camera. I did a quick search on Amazon to see if there's other cameras like this that I can compare prices to, but you know what? There just wasn't anything out there. There were solar cameras, but some of them didn't pan, some of them did, some of them had one camera, so you just really couldn't find a great comparison. I will say I was pretty impressed with the pan and tilt of this camera, and I loved how that AI feature just follows you as you go along. But you know what the most impressive part to me was? The solar panel and the battery. I've had this thing running for the past couple weeks and I really wanted to put that battery to the test. And I noticed that every day after my usage, it would maintain the battery percentage in the high 90s. And if I didn't use it at all, well, then I would see it hit 100. I tried using it frequently during the day just to try to wear that battery down to see what would happen, and it held up. If we talk about the install, let's first go through the app. Just like with all the eufy products, it was very easy to go through. It just walks you through the installation process, and I really do appreciate that. The installation of the solar panel wasn't that hard either. I did get some clips to hold up the wire, but it was really just quick and easy. Speaking of those clips, if it's something that interests you, I'll link a link down below of clips that I have used to hold the wire in place. I do think that this is a pretty convenient camera, especially if you wanted to put something up in a place where it does not have any power, just like in my installation. It was really quick, easy, and convenient, and well, it just works every day. I should say, as far as that solar panel, it only works as good as the sun exposure that you have, like less sun during the day, the less charging, and of course, the more sun, the better the charge. Anyway, that was my full review of the SoloCam S340. If this is something that interests you, I will leave a link down in the description. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. As always, thanks for stopping by and hope you have a great day. What we're going to do now is we're actually going to show you one last thing in this app. So we have our cameras pulled up. Right now I'm going to click the 3 little dots on our camera. We're going to hit the gear icon. We're going to scroll down to where it says video settings. Now down to where it says privacy zones. Of course, we're going to add a privacy zone and go to settings. Now that our camera is up and running, I'm going to hit the plus button in the bottom right corner. I got it. Now let's resize the box that popped up. All right, so we resized the box. You can't see on that side, and we are done. I will say right now in the app, you're only able to set up 2 different privacy zones, so 2 different boxes. Also, if I was going to do the pan and tilt, the privacy zone part would disappear. I really do appreciate that you stayed around for my entire review of the eufy Cam S340. You know what? During this video, I actually had to clean off that shed that I put this camera up on, and I had to use my 30-second cleaner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link that review right up here. But if you've already seen that, I have a whole playlist of eufy products that I'm going to link right over here on this side. And I would love it if you would click on one of those links. And when you do, by the magic of the internet, I'm going to join you right here or right there. So go ahead, click one. They're safe, I promise.